Welcome back once again. This is of course the key presentation, the interdisciplinary and the multidisciplinary research under NEP 2020. I'm starting with some sort of a sloka. Let noble thoughts come from all directions. We are inviting all the people here for the collection of noble thoughts from all directions. And this is exactly the same that the National Education Policy 2020 aims at developing intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, ethical, and the moral facets of an individual in an integrated manner. And this will contribute directly to transformation of the country and making India a global knowledge superpower. The first National Education Policy was framed in 1968, and I was also born in the year 1968. In the year when I was born, the first National Education Policy was adopted, and in the year 1986, I passed the pre-university examination, that is class 12 examination. So that is also significant because the second time the National Education Policy came into force, and 30 years after then, NEP 2020 has come up from the 2020 onwards. But actually, the draft policy formulation began prior to 2010. Every year, thousands of graduates, postgraduates, and the PhDs are being produced from the colleges and the universities across the country. But the industry people, they say that they do not have any suitable candidate which may be fitted in their industry. There must be some gap between the education system which is being adopted, which was adopted there, what actually the industry requires is, because the government sector cannot provide job opportunities to the huge number of the qualified youths are coming up while they are lying unemployed. In order to fill the gap between the requirement of the industry, and the series of workshops and seminars were conducted countrywide, and I had the opportunity to join such seminars from 2013 onwards. University Grants Commission began to sketch the higher education, the vocationalization of higher education in three aspects. The first one is the add-on course. When a student is undergoing BA, BSc, BCom, he or she can also go for some short-term course, diploma or advanced diploma in some vocational trades. This is the add-on course, and it is being implemented under the vocationalization of higher education in the scheme of RUSA, Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhijan. Second aspect was the BVOC, MVOC schemes. University Grants Commission was adopting some three system of vocationalization of the higher education. The first one is the community college scheme, where the students had to go to advanced diploma only, 2 years diploma only, and if someone intends to go for the higher studies for the third year leading to the degree, then another scheme was also adopted in 2014, that is BVOC. In the postgraduate level or research level, some DDU Kaushal Kendras were also established. 49 DDU Kaushal Kendras were established nationwide in the year 2015, and the Dhanmanjari Community College was one of them. And it was also approved among the 49 centers. And this is how the vocationalization of higher education took place, has been taking place since the year 2011-12 with a series of workshop conferences with so many modifications, awareness programs, and everything. So NEP 2020 emphasized in the vocationalization component of the higher education sector, and it has already been begun from 2014 onwards. In the 2016-17, there was a consultation workshop in Vigyan Bhavan for the complete formulation of the NEP 2020. And we are assigned with the component which is the integrating skill development in the higher education. That's also one of the part that we were joining together. We put heads together in the common platform. And later on, the choice-based credit system has come up, which is also one of the objectives of this NEP 2020. So choice-based credit system, actually CBCS system has been introduced in the colleges and the university from the year 2016 onwards. But the Manipur University is not yet adopting this CBCS system Even though they are adopting in the PG level, they are not extending it to the undergraduate level. CBCS system is also having some shortcomings. It is also not exactly compatible with the exact requirements of the industry as envisaged in NEP 2020. That's why from 2020-21 onwards, another system has come up, which is the updation of the CBCS system, the so-called LOCF. And LOCF has to be enforced from 2021-22 onwards. The student has to be updated in a portal which is known as the National Academic Depository, NAD. And each and every student has to have a unique ID, and they should have some smart system, digitalized system of identification where their credits has to be banked, or it has to be deposited in a bank, the system which is known as the academic banks of credits. And this has to be adopted nationwide. Under NEP 2020, what actually will have is the rich traditions of multidisciplinary approach in ancient institutions, just like we have studied in history, the Takshashila and the Nalanda universities, where every branch of knowledge, including singing, dancing, music, starting from Ramanujan and everything. And this has to be brought into picture in NEP 2020, because the India has a rich cultural heritage and we have to explore that, and will become the superpower in the higher education sector. Manipur is also not an exception, because if you look back in history, we have the rich cultural traditions and the skills, art and the crafts and the cultural heritage. Repeating the legacy of the country's multidisciplinary education, NEP 2020 recommends large multidisciplinary higher education institutions to be established nationwide in or near every district by the end of 2030. So if we see that in a small state like Manipur, having a population of around 30 lakhs people, will have such type of large multidisciplinary universities, each near every district or in each district. Otherwise, will not meet the standard of education which would be enforced nationwide and in the international arena also. That's why the Manipur government has also initiated for the establishment of the large multidisciplinary higher education institutions by clustering the nearby colleges, and the affiliating colleges will be abolished. It will be terminated in the phased manner, and only the degree granting autonomous colleges as well as the constituent colleges will continue further. This is the objective, and that's why the government has initiated for establishment of these large multidisciplinary higher education institutes in every district, including the hill districts also. But in the hill districts, they are planning to keep the campus of a large university under the same title, and all the colleges will be converted into constituent college of the large university. The multidisciplinary institutions should not only have different departments, but also imaginative and flexible curricular structures to enable creative combinations of discipline for study, innovative programs of multi and interdisciplinary, and come back later also, multi and interdisciplinary nature, help widen learners' thinking and the learning capacity, and train them to address the emerging challenges. And this is the system. The type of higher education institutions will be like this: teaching intensive universities, research intensive universities, and a degree awarding autonomous colleges. Degree awarding autonomous colleges, just like the Oriental College, which becomes autonomous, as Don Bosco College, Maram. Research intensive universities will be meant for research and development activities only, and teaching intensive universities will be for the teaching learning processes as well. The multidisciplinary teaching universities and the research universities will be large universities with more than 3,000 students or more, with the large menu of the curriculum and the syllabus, the small courses, and the people says that after the implementation of NEP 2020, universities will be just like a large cafeteria where so many menus are made available. By clustering of colleges, nearby colleges, where arts, science, commerce, law, engineering, education, fine arts, this has to be taken into the components of the multidisciplinary programs as per the curricular components prescribed by the regulatory bodies. So, any teacher or the student, they can undergo for the research and development activities in the field of arts, science, commerce, law, engineering, education, fine arts jointly also. It is also possible by clustering the nearby colleges. This interdisciplinary, in this case, the research activities will be such that the data drawn from more than one with multiple data sources and having varying analysis of the same data, which may be done by a group of people, and those teachers or the faculties who are working together will share publications. They will share their names in the publications with language intelligible to all involved fields. That is, if we do the physical sciences, then some part of biological, chemical sciences joining together, and they should have the common, understanding, and the languages also. Interdisciplinary means some similarities will be there, and they have the common platform and intelligible to all involved fields. And the multidisciplinary, here parallel play by individuals may play parallel roles even though under the NEP 2020 the institutions are going to be clubbed together or clustered, even then the faculties may work parallelly, and they can also publish separate publications by participants from each discipline. And here go for transdisciplinary also. This is also one of the outcomes, that fully synthesized methods, and many results will lead to the production of a new field of study. As this is coming under transdisciplinary also. And here again, shared publications, probably using at least some new language developed for translation across traditional lines. These are the things that we have to come up with the multidisciplinary research. And here you see, join together to work on common problems, split apart unchanged when work is done. This is the A join with B at some point of time, and after then A can leave B, and the B is also leaving A, leaving behind from the common issue. And this is how multidisciplinary research will work. And in the interdisciplinary, once again, now in this case, the faculty A and the faculty B, they are joining for a common course, and they will produce another new thing, which is the so-called C. And join together to work on common problem. Interaction may force new field or discipline. These are the things that the NEP 2020 is being emphasized. And in the interdisciplinary, we are going for physics, chemistry, in science, mathematics, as well as and some part of engineering we can take it together in the system. And archaeometry. Archaeometry is a new field. It involves the physics, chemistry, mathematics, engineering as well, and some part of archaeometry or anthropology. It will lead to a new field which is known as the archaeometry. And this archaeometry is also the area where I was also working. Myself was also working in the field of multidisciplinary research or interdisciplinary research, where the physical sciences, chemical sciences were joining together, put sets together to make a new product which is known as the archaeometry. And here is, apart from archaeometry, and some archaeometallurgy can also come up. These are the new things that the result has come. Anthropometry. This is slightly different from anthropology. Archaeometallurgy is slightly different from archaeometry or archaeology as well. It is ancient metallurgical process. Now, optochemistry, and like this, biotechnology also. These are some of the new things that may come up in the research. Interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. After the implementation of NEP 2020, these are here there is no rigid barrier between arts and the science and the humanities. A faculty which is belonging to physics or chemistry, they can go for literature also, history also, medicine, engineering. There is no such a rigid barrier, but the very flexibility, highly flexibility in taking up the research areas. And we can think of that. Here we are gathering from various colleges and the universities belonging to departments. Here it is just citing an example that this is the so-called physics for cultural heritage. Actually, I was working in the field of the application of scientific methods, just like physical methods, so many methods, XRD, XRF, FTIR, the energy dispersive analysis, same term, and so many physical methods are being applied in the studies of art artifacts and archaeological remains of the ancient past. And I was just dealing with the artifacts of the entire northeastern region, and a book which is being published on that is the Physics for Cultural Heritage. Here, this is a very suitable example for the interdisciplinary research where physics people are joining for the cause of the cultural heritage of our nation. So this is, there was a wide gap between the arts and the science in the olden days. Now the science and the humanities, they are coming up together and join for the common cause, and the research activities can be taken up, and that is exactly what I did. So this Physics for Cultural Heritage, and this was published by Ruby Press & Co. at New Delhi, and one of the bestseller books which was lifted in the Amazon also. So coming back very shortly to wind up the session, monodisciplinary study of one discipline only, that was traditional type of research that we have taken up in the past many years or so. Now interdisciplinary integration of more than two subjects from the same or different disciplines, and multidisciplinary becomes combining or involving several academic disciplines or professional specialization in an approach to a topic or a problem. Research committee comprising members from collaborating institutions may be formed. This will come up very shortly in Manipur also. Number A part is to share the scarce resource in an optimum way among collaborating institutions, and number B is to identify core learning and research activities in the collaborating higher education institutions and the development of multidisciplinary thinking approach. These are the things that has to be coming up with the NEP 2020. And students, faculty will be encouraged to do research in areas that are locally, regionally and nationally relevant. The focus will be given here only. In the ancient past, Newton was working in the laws of gravity, which is universal laws of gravity. And the Abdus Salam International, the theoretical physics group, they are working in the grand unified theory. These are different things, universal. But now under the NEP 2020, the more emphasis is being given in the locally feasible, regionally fruitful and the nationally relevant topics are being emphasized. And the teachers may opt for those research areas also. We can discuss together for the possibilities of funding agencies and everything. Encourage high quality research in multidisciplinary areas. The research ecosystem where ample opportunity on how to design research proposals, write research articles, publish one patent findings are available for young scholars and the faculty. These are going to be taken up in NEP 2020. Opportunities in higher education institutions clusters with the availability of faculty with different disciplinary backgrounds. The faculties will have different disciplinary backgrounds, just like the collective sources and a greater number of students engaging in research. It refers to knowledge associated with one or more discipline or profession and draw upon insights from two or more disciplines, and does not typically lead to an increase in the number of disciplines, but the objective has to be really focused. And specialization from the multiple academic disciplines to redefine problems outside normal boundaries and reach appropriate solutions and encourage collaboration. Enables learners to develop critical thinking skills and presents many real-world opportunities for growth. Here, actually, critical thinking is such type of thing that the problem solving and the critical thinking, these are the two things that the NEP 2020 is giving emphasis, and the teaching learning system will be based on that only. Actually, learning outcome-based curriculum framework is also designed in such a way that what the student will do after the completion of the course. That is the objective. So learning outcome means after the end of the first year of BA, BSc, BCom, there is one exit point, and after exiting, after leaving the course, what shall the student do? That is the main objective, and by putting that main objective in front, and the faculties are designing the curriculum, syllabus, modules and everything, and these modules will probably it will be emphasized in two things. One is the critical thinking and another is the problem solving. So the first practical use of multidisciplinary approach was during World War II, which was known as military industrial complex, and Lockheed Aircraft Company was set up in its own special project operation nicknamed as the Skunk Works in 1943 to develop the XP-80 jet fighter in just 143 days. And another example is under NEP 2020, standalone institutions will be closed by 2030. Those institutions who are running only one specific course or conducting research and development works in one specific discipline will be closed down. Multidisciplinary institution will be open widely after then, and the flexibility on choosing subjects from sciences and the humanities, wide range of subjects without restrictions, creative combination of subjects, cutting edge curriculum, flexible options, multiple entry and exit options. These are the points that has to be taken into account while considering the research and the development areas. I'm just going to wind up here. If any question has been raised, then I'll be very happy to take on some of the questions. Professor Devan is online, and if you have any questions, doubt and anything up to this, then I'll be very happy to take on some of the questions.